to know if it could be the kind of girl you could go down for.
Hi Wonderfros, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ebony, and if you are new here, then welcome to my corner of the YouTube universe, and if you're old here, then hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be an different than usual. I'm going to be more or less opening up about my eye condition. And this video was inspired by a YouTuber that I found a couple months ago. Her name is Molly Burke, and I think she is so inspiring and absolutely amazing. But before we jump into it, you guys know what to do. Go down below, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any more videos from me, and thumbs up if you like this type of content. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So as I had mentioned before, this video was inspired by a YouTuber named Molly Burke. She has an eye condition that is called retinitis pigmentosa, and to my knowledge, she is more blind than not blind. She does have a guide dog. His name is Gallup. I love watching her channel, and I think she's very inspiring, but also educational. One of the reasons why having a disability can be really frustrating is because people who don't have the disability don't understand. And for me, I was really inspired by her opening up and bridging the gap with education that I decided to do the same thing. Now, I don't have the same eye condition. Mine is different, but I decided to open up about it. I have done other videos about my eye condition before, but this is probably the first official one where if you are new tuning into my channel, then hi, yes, my name is Ebony and I have a visual disability. I was diagnosed at 15 years old with a genetic eye condition called Stargardt. It is genetic recessive, so both of my parents were carriers. I got one from each parent, and lucky me, I get born with my eye condition, but I also have two younger sisters who also have the eye condition as well. Out of the three of us, mine is probably the most progressed, but I do have an older brother and he does not have the eye condition at all. More recently, I shared with you guys that I did apply for Social Security because I feel like it's necessary, Social Security benefits here in America, and I had to go through a lot of doctor's appointments just proving that I have what I have, and I got pictures to show you guys just exactly what my eye condition is. So here, hopefully the light does not wash it out too much, but these are pictures of my eyes. And hopefully you guys can focus in the middle here. It's kind of a beaten bronze appearance in the back of my eye. And I'll also put a picture of a regular eye so you guys know what it's supposed to look like. And these are my eyes, and this is what it actually looks like. Now, my eye condition is called Stargardt's disease, and what was explained to me 13 years ago when I got diagnosed, because I'm 28 now, what was explained to me is that basically on the side of everyone's eye is a door, and after your eye uses up vitamin A, anything that comes through your eye gets filtered through as vitamin A, and your body naturally kicks it out after it uses it all up. However, the door on my eye is genetically broken, and the vitamin A stays in your eye. It starts to damage your retina because it turns toxic. After it starts damaging your retina cells, then they die, and that's why my central vision is deteriorating. However, my peripheral vision is pretty much still intact. So basically, whenever I look directly at something like my camera right now, I can't see my camera at all, but around it is the ring light and I can see that. Right now, I do not have official numbers for my visual acuity because if I'm looking at something, I really can't see it, but if I use my peripheral vision to look at something, then I can. So it varies, but if I'm compared to a normal person, 20/20 vision, I am considered low vision. I am not completely blind, but I do have severe visual impairment. And if I'm compared to a blind person, I am still considered high functioning because I am not completely blind and my eyes obviously do still work to some degree. When I first got diagnosed at 15, I was still in high school and things were very difficult for me, just trying to accept the fact that I had a disability and that my vision was going to decline to a certain point and then plateau, which is what I was also told by the doctors, which in my case is true. I was having a hard time adjusting to the vision loss, but also just growing up in general. And for me, it was really hard to open up about my problem because I, personality type wise, was just more of a concealed person. I didn't open up about it. I was very private, and I felt like I had to put on a face that I was okay, even though I actually wasn't, and I did need a lot of help. When I first got diagnosed, my vision was much better. I was like 20/40 in one eye and 20/60 in the other, but there was probably 3 major declines in my vision that I can remember, and that after that it has kind of plateaued and been here at least for the past 5 years, if not longer than that. While I have lived with the eye condition for 13 years, it is kind of difficult just because the world was not made for people with disabilities. You have to find your own workarounds and different things that you have to do to compensate for your vision loss, because I think humans are amazing at adapting, and that's kind of just what you do. You don't shrivel up in a corner and die. You just find other ways to get from point A to point B. And while it is very frustrating and irritating, and do I wish I had a life without it every day? Yes. But I do still have workarounds for how to live my life and how I compensate. So it's been a major learning curve, but again, humans are amazing at adapting, and I definitely think it has slowed me down, but I don't believe it stops me. I have run into so many kind souls over the years, and for me, it makes it all worth it just to be benefiting from other people's kindness, because there are some nasty people in the world, whether you have disabilities or not, and I'm sure everybody has run into one of them. Everybody I allow a certain level of humanity to, a certain level of humanness to, because everybody has a bad day. But here are a few things that I feel like would help enhance a blind person's experience in the world if you are friends with a blind person. And I'm using blindness as a broad term. There are lots of different spectrums on which you can consider yourself blind. There are lots of different conditions. They are not all the same, but I'm just saying blind as a blanket term because that's what I get referred to as a lot, and it's just one of the easiest ways to relay my disability to other people. So as inspired by Molly's video, I have 5 questions to not ask a blind person. This is just based off of my experience. No, I do not mind when people ask me about my visual disability. I actually prefer if you come up to me in a respectful way and you genuinely want to know. Then educating a person about what I'm going through is like the least of my concerns. I'd rather you ask and know than assume and either be mean or think that something else is the case. No, just ask me, you know, like I try to be more of an open book. It is something irritating I have to deal with on a regular basis, but I'm not going to take that out on you necessarily. I do, however, think that, you know, if you have someone close to you in your life that has this specific eye condition or an eye condition like it, these are things that may or may not help you communicate with them a little bit better. So here we go. Number 1 is, why are you holding your phone so close? For all of you that don't know, I have to hold my phone very, very close to my face. And for me, even though I have an iPhone, I still have enlargement accessibility features turned on, because that's what helps me be able to see the text in a fluid or consistent way. So either why are you blowing stuff up or why are you holding your phone so close? Those are questions I get all the time. And for me, I don't mind telling people, hey, this is my condition. But because there's no outward symbols that I have a disability or a visual disability, it's always kind of irritating whenever people forget or assume that all I need is glasses. I don't have shades that I wear. I don't have a seeing eye dog. I don't have a blind stick. There's no outward indicators that I have a visual disability. And that can be hard. I do have to repeat myself a lot, which is kind of irritating because you're constantly validating what's wrong with you. But just know, there's a lot of things right with me as well. And if you have someone in your life that, you know, doesn't have any outward indicators that they have something wrong with them, just try and be more sensitive to the fact that maybe they might not be able to see certain things, because having to say out loud that I'm blind all the time is kind of a bummer. Number 2, where are your glasses? Now, this one particularly irritates me because I think people assess your situation and assume that glasses is like the easiest thing that you could get. And for all the people who have glasses out there, be thankful, because there are conditions in the world that glasses don't fix. So trust me, if I could be a 4 eyes, I would run to the nearest glasses place and get me something that can help me see better, but it is not that simple for me. And whenever people assume, hey, it's just glasses that you need, it's like, actually, no, I have an eye condition. This is how I live my life, and there is no way to get around it. There's no cure, and there's no treatment. Sorry. So try not to always assume that there is an easy answer. 9 times out of 10, if it was that easy, I would have already had glasses by now. So it's kind of frustrating to hear that over and over again. I know people don't do it maliciously, but like I said, if it was that easy, believe me, I would be wearing them. Coke bottle thick, I would be wearing them, because at least they work. Number 3 is, can you see me? And I'm not super offended by this question, but I get this a lot. I think after people figure out that I have a visual disability, they want to know what the extent of it is. While blindness, like I said before, is on a very broad spectrum, what people can and can't see does vary. It is highly subjective. So in my experience, the answer to that is yes and no. If you're asking, hey, can you see me? It's like, I can't actually see your face or your facial features, so I don't know who you are. But if you're standing in front of me, then yes, I can tell that there is a person in front of me. Typically, whenever people are farther away, because I have lost a lot of my distance vision, I can't tell who you are. I don't know who you're waving at, what you're waving at, if it's me, if it's another person, if I know you, if I don't. It's also an opportunity to let people know that I'm not ignoring you, I'm not rude, we're not in a fight, there's nothing wrong except for the fact that I can't tell it's you. So be more verbal and say, hey, Ebony, and that will probably get you the response that you're looking for, instead of just like a deadpan blank face because I don't recognize you. What a lot of people don't realize is that your acute vision is in the center of your vision, so the ability to see smaller things is in the center, and that is where my vision is deteriorating. So I cannot see very small things. A lot of details get fuzzied out usually, and again, the central vision is gone. So for me, I just can't tell far away what the center of something looks like, but can I tell that a person's over there and they're making some gestures? Sure. Can I also use my peripheral vision to kind of see what's going on? Absolutely. But can you use your peripheral vision to compensate for all the acute vision in your center? No. And that's why I don't wave back, but just know it's not because I don't like you. I probably love you. There is a hug with your name on it. I just can't recognize you. And that kind of segues into my 4th question, which is, why are you looking over there? Because my central vision is missing and or deteriorating, it's gone, I use my peripheral vision to see a lot of things. Even though I'm focused in this direction and I can see my camera, it's weird to talk to the side because people are gonna be like, what are you looking at? And that question I get all the time. Often people will be like, what are you looking at? Like, what's behind? Is there something behind me? Is someone coming up? Yada yada yada. Even in some of my videos, I'm looking slightly to the side of the lens and not directly at the lens. I have trained myself to look at the lens because it is more normal to do so, but can I actually see the camera from here? No. But just in my experience, my eye condition, that's the reason why I am looking to the side. I'm not choosing to, but if I really want to see something and I really want to focus on something, or it's some detail that I can't bring closer to my face, then peripheral vision is all I got to work with. It is a little socially awkward, but after I usually explain myself, people just understand and everything's fine. And the 5th question that I get all the time is, why do you have that? And that specifically relates to my magnifying devices. Now, I have a magnifying glass in my purse, one that I whip out whenever I need to see directions on the back of boxes, when I'm shopping for labels, prices, anything like that. Any kind of small font, small print is very difficult for me to see, so I am holding it close to my face, and I have a magnifying glass on deck at all times. But I also have them laying around the house, and whenever I whip one out, people are like, what are you doing and why do you have that? Typically, again, because there are no outside indicators that I am visually impaired, people are like, what are you doing? You're like somebody's 80-year-old grandma. And it's like, yeah, because I have 80-year-old grandma vision. And a lot of enhancing devices are kind of just around. So whenever people come into my world, it's always like, oh, what's going on here? Because this isn't normal for a regular 28-year-old. However, after explaining things to them, they're usually like, oh, okay, no big deal. But it is still kind of somewhat irritating because I don't want to feel like a stranger in my own space. You are constantly reminded in the world that you are not like the other bears, but that's not a reason to feel insecure about yourself. I definitely think, again, educating people on my experience bridges the gap so that there's not so much of a assumption or other people trying to fill in the blanks. So hopefully this helps some of you guys out. This is a very different kind of video for me, but hopefully you guys find community in the fact that, you know, I'm not perfect. I never claimed to be. That's the first thing. Never claim to be perfect. But also, if you suffer with any kind of eye condition, just know, girl, guy, person in the world, I feel you. We are in this together. It's the worst. And by the worst, I mean, if you would like me to share any more about my experience, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe down below so you don't miss any more videos from me. But seriously, guys, let me know if you like this type of content, if you like me opening up more about my blind girl experience. Honey, it's interesting. Remember to let your spirit, soul, and hair stay lifted like an Afro puff. Don't forget to check out any of my other social media platforms over here and any of my previous uploads over here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.